Okay, let's dive into this. It's a pretty well-known statistic out there that the average self-made millionaire has at least 7 streams of income. 7. But how do you actually build that? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the multiplied income blueprint, and we're going to look at the actual mechanics of building wealth that scales way, way beyond just a single paycheck.
I want you to imagine two people right now. Just picture them. Both earn a really good living, both have very stable careers, and honestly, both feel completely financially secure. But then, literally out of nowhere, sweeping layoffs hit their sector, and boom, both lose their jobs overnight. Now, person A, completely devastated, highly exposed. They had zero warning, no backup plan, and their one and only paycheck is just gone. But person B is completely calm. Why? Because they've successfully eliminated their single point of failure. You see, their rental income is still coming in, their freelance clients are still paying them, and their dividend income, it's still securely landing right in their accounts. They aren't financially derailed at all. They are completely protected by a deliberate distribution of risk. Which brings us to a very real and honestly kind of tough question. If your active income stopped today, like right this second, exactly how many days could you survive? Financially savvy people actually force themselves to calculate this liquidity runway really early on. We need to shift our mindset entirely, getting away from this traditional, outdated concept of job security and start focusing hardcore on structural income security. So let's start by defining income security and really look at moving beyond the single paycheck. Multiple streams of income simply means earning money from more than one source to ensure your financial resilience and protection. For most of our lives, we view earning as this strictly linear exchange, right? It's subject to these strict active labor constraints. Basically, you work an hour, you get paid for an hour. But true income security is about shifting to scalable, asynchronous income. It's about engineering your life so that capital flows into your ecosystem from several different directions simultaneously, completely regardless of how you are actually spending your time. In practice, successful individuals structure this by stacking different asset classes. They absolutely do not just rely on earned income from a job or a business. They build investment income like dividend portfolios. They tap into real estate for that monthly rental yield, and they leverage business and creative ventures. We're talking freelance models, digital products, or royalties. They are stacking these sources so that while they are sleeping, or, maybe just ignoring an email from their boss, those dividends and royalties are still doing the heavy lifting in the background. And doing this creates a massive psychological shift. Think about it. When you have multiple streams of income and you happen to lose your main job, well, you aren't jobless, you're just one streamless. That is a huge difference. Think about the immense asymmetric risk advantage there. Your entire financial ecosystem doesn't collapse. It simply adjusts, while the other streams keep right on flowing. And this brilliantly illustrates the water pipe analogy. Let's look at visualizing your wealth systems. I want you to think of your income like water filling up a storage tank. Now, if you have just one pipe bringing water into your house, you have a 100% failure risk if that single pipe bursts. You have absolutely zero water. And honestly, that is the exact mathematical reality of having only one job. But imagine you have several smaller pipes all filling that exact same tank. If one breaks or, just needs a little maintenance, the others keep the tank totally full. You wouldn't even notice the disruption. Wealthy individuals engineer this kind of systemic redundancy into their lives. They focus on building multiple pipes instead of just crossing their fingers and hoping their one main pipe never cracks. Now, you might be wondering if this is all so logical, why we get stuck. Let's break down the 3 roadblocks to financial resilience. There are 3 massive roadblocks here. First up, school conditioning. The traditional education system was literally designed back in the industrial age to produce compliant factory workers, not dynamic asset builders. We are explicitly taught to just trade our time for a salary. Second is the illusion of safety. Getting that biweekly paycheck feels so predictable, and it creates this incredibly dangerous sense of comfort. And third, lack of time or knowledge. We mistakenly buy into the myth that building income streams is only for rich people. These mental barriers keep otherwise absolutely brilliant people completely trapped in the single paycheck cycle. Look at this quote. Comfort is not the same as security. If you don't control the source, you aren't truly secure. It is just so incredibly easy to confuse the predictable comfort of your salary arriving every 2 weeks with actual structural financial security. But if someone else, a manager, a board of directors, whoever, can just turn off your tap without your permission, you are operating from a highly, highly vulnerable position. To address that third roadblock,
The myth that you need massive wealth just to begin, I want you to consider this number, $100. That first extra $100 a month you make from a side project, freelance gig, or a digital product, it isn't about getting rich, not at all. It's a minimum viable product. It is the psychological proof of concept that a brand new pipe is fully operational. It proves to you that the system actually works.
Which leads us to reframing the day job and seeing it as your financial foundation.
So the crucial point is this: having a job is not bad. Let me repeat that. Having a job is not bad. In fact, it is the absolute foundation of wealth building. The goal here isn't to dramatically storm into your boss's office and quit your job tomorrow. Instead, start treating your 9-to-5 as your own personal angel investor. It is the seed capital. It provides the resources, the cash flow, and the stability that you desperately need to fund and build your new pipelines. However, you absolutely must build beyond it. Because as long as you rely exclusively on that single angel investor, you remain completely exposed. Think about it. Your employer ultimately controls that tap. Unforeseen health issues can suddenly halt your active labor. And in today's landscape, sudden AI disruptions or sweeping macroeconomic shifts can upend even the safest careers literally overnight. Smart people don't reject the day job at all. They simply build an impenetrable fortress around it.
Okay, let's do a quick blueprint recap. Here are your key takeaways for income security. Number 1, earn from multiple sources to ensure your protection. You have got to eliminate that single point of failure. Number 2, build systems. Build those redundant pipes instead of just endlessly trading your limited time for money. Number 3, use your job as your seed capital, but whatever you do, do not rely on it exclusively. And number 4, start small, because in this game, awareness is what actually leads to preparation. So I want you to really think about your current financial ecosystem right now. If your main paycheck disappeared tomorrow, what would actually happen? Would your runway sustain you, or would the tank immediately run completely dry? If the answer makes you a little uncomfortable, that's exactly where you need to be. That discomfort, that awareness is your catalyst for building systemic redundancy. Now that you understand the big picture mechanics of the blueprint, you're ready to start laying the actual plumbing. In part 2 of this explainer series, we're getting highly practical. We're going to break down the specific mechanics of the 4 main income streams and cover the crucial, absolutely avoidable mistakes people make when launching their first minimum viable product. You definitely won't want to miss it. Until then, figure out where you're going to start building your next pipe.